Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and today's a special day. And Merry Christmas to everybody watching on YouTube and on the podcast. This is part 2 of today's show, where we're looking at the best games on Kickstarter or crowdfunding for 2021 in the big leagues, the over $100 US. And these are the types of games that swing so millions of dollars in, and it's pretty much why crowdfunding board games has become such a hit and where the best games are, really, because designers' ambitions have no restrictions on them and they can fully give you the full potential of the dream game. And we'll see today some amazing attention to detail in the creations, and oh my goodness, peeps, we're in for a treat. This is, of course, part 2 of 3 special programs going out. Earlier this week earlier on the podcast, we looked at the top games of 2021 for under $100, so please check that video out if you missed it on YouTube. But here we are today. We're also going to be doing the worst Kickstarters, the ones that I wanted to like, but these games just really annoyed me, and I'll tell you what the final nail in the coffin was when we get to them. And if you've backed a game and expecting this on today's list and it's not here, it might be on my worst list, so look out for that after Christmas. Alright, let's plow on to today's show. Lords of Ragnarok! Awaken's Realms have seem to be going on my big lists every year. No matter. 1.6 million euros, that's a lot of money, isn't it? It's basically the Lords of Hellas 2.0. It builds again on the dudes on a map area control. Absolutely fantastic. I really didn't cover this on the channel due to a holiday I went on, but I got back in time to back it. And been after Lords of Hellas for ages, but just couldn't get hold of it. This is a fantastic way to come on here, and it's improved in every way of what's going on the map. Beautiful minis, of course, from Awaken Realms. Love the different style of the minis. Everything here looks so much better. I love the statues, how they grow as well. So cool. And a lot of this design, for me, is coming out of, I've seen stuff like this in video games, but on the tabletop, amazing. And the big gameplay pledge, which everyone's going to be coming in for, is probably the mythic pledge with the sun drop, because people always go, I wish I got sun drop. Gameplay's 150, but really it's 20 euros on to paint your minis up. They're putting a wash on them. The game itself, though, area control. Dudes on a map pushing dudes around and fighting and hunting bosses that are going around. They've took the quests out of the game that people didn't like, and you're building these statues up with different ways of winning the game, and lots going on. Trying to get through all these things to get to the game. I don't know why, but GameFound Kickstarters are weird how they're set up. They're just not like Kickstarters yet, are they? Anyway, so giant boxes, beautiful minis. The map, I'm trying to get to the map here if you're on YouTube seeing what I'm doing here, but yes, I agree. Look at that, so in my face. Yeah, here it is, the map. Very, very good, and you can get boats and go around the areas too for attacking, surprise attacking, and lots of stuff. And just the components and everything looks super, super tight. Lords of Hellas did have a lot of negative things with it, you see. Now, I think a lot of them have been addressed for this 2.0, unofficial, of course. But Lords of Ragnarok, oh my god, this is epic Kickstarter game. That came to GameFound, of course. Awaken Realms run this, but super popular. and so glad to be on it. Sci-fi with Northern mythology, wonderful. Raise monuments, hunt monsters, fight epic battles against people round the table. Oh, it's like a dream ticket. Lords of Ragnarok. Black Rose Wars Rebirth. I actually did not end up backing this because it just got too expensive, but it was in my top late pledge list. It's at the top of it, so next year we have a dry Kickstarter. I'll be backing this. Beautiful minis. What is this? It's a mage battle system. Your mages firing spells at each other and accruing new spells to your spell deck throughout the game. They did so many cool things on this project, though. They introduced an AI that you can put against not just the solo player, but against a two-player game. So there's more stuff happening in the game, making it more of a battle and sometimes semi-cooperative in nature. You're not destroying the lodge as well. You're like rebuilding it, so you're actually helping things out. It has been streamlined as well. Heavy game, yes, but complex, yes. But part of the charm of it is the creating that unique spell deck and just blowing stuff up everybody around you as you run around. Very, very cool. And some of the players that you're playing again aren't just simple mages. They are mega demonic pieces of evil that are, coming out of the Black Rose to stop you from getting the power of the Black Rose. So yeah, lots going on this Kickstarter. Beautiful, beautiful everything. Art-wise, the only thing that's kind of hit you in the stomach really was that the cost of the Kickstarter was just rising and rising and rising. It just got too much to bear, and I'd rather come on late pledge because it would have took pledges away from games that I needed to get on with. So, but I'll get this game. The late pledge looks like it's going to go right through to 2022, and I'll pick it up then. And it's one that I don't want to miss because I missed the first Black Rose, and this is a perfect time to pick up this one. And now that I know how much it is, I can factor that into my decision making next year. And oh yes, I can't wait to get this because yeah, it's going to be more expensive late pledge, that's for certain. But I want it, baby. I want it because I love mages in video games, and a board game where you can mage fight each other with complex spells sounds phenomenal. And Wiz War, that old game, that's not getting a new version anytime soon, and Rebirth really takes it into a more serious way, especially with the cool theme and all that stuff. And what an amazing black box of beauty for the Black Rose Wars Rebirth. Let's go to the next. Harakiri Blades of Honor. Oh, this is a massive cooperative campaign game, it says, where you enter a fantastic and changing world as the world map changes as you go through the campaigns. 2 campaigns in total. Amazing art. You're basically an exorcist that's going to Japan to exorcise all these demons that are causing chaos across Japan. Yep, with tons of combat and dice chucking, rolling, and leveling up your character. It's a wonderful role-playing game and dungeon crawler to boot. Lovely set of components, great stretch goals as it got busted through. This was an epic campaign. I think it was over more than 5 years in the making. I think 6 years in the making, and still listening to concerns of people on YouTube and willing to change things even at this late stage of its design. Like that flexibility when they kind of can change, but looks absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, the pledge in here was going way over $100, and just because of this sheer ambition of the title needed a lot of money. And a lot of these games might not even come to retail, so yeah, the ambitions for all these games is just super high. And Harakiri, an absolute mega project from the team, and ambition off the roof, basically. Just outrageous ambition for this title, but it looks so promising and looks to be one of the giants of the year. Let's go to the next. Dungeons of Infinity Kingdom Cost. Oh, it's Dungeons of Infinity 2.0. Completely been redone, art across the whole board. Fantastic. It's a small table present dungeon crawl where it uses the mechanic of sound, so you've got to kind of go around not to attract too many monsters on your when you're going around. You are going to be taking over a hero and you're going to be growing their strength as you go through the game, picking up loads of new loot, getting stronger, and there is a big campaign to the game which the Kickstarter surprised everybody. It's going to get the Foreteller app, so you can actually get the sound effects in the dungeon and the actors actually acting it out from the campaign text. So sounds really, really cool. Loads happened on this Kickstarter. I love the fact that all the art's getting redone and some new content from the base game too, adding more story and even some crossovers with some big Kickstarters like Tanaris Adventures, the hero Jade, my favourite character from Tanaris. So I love the Bard character. Anyway, absolutely phenomenal. Now, you might be thinking, excuse me, this isn't $100 if you go for the play. No, you need to get you need to the gameplay all in. It pushes it over 100, and if you get the all in, it's 135, which you're probably going to want to do when you look at it. Just super, super cool, and it's a dungeon crawler you can get out and put away quickly. It's not too much tear up or tear down. So that's Dungeons of Infinity. Absolutely fantastic. And you can see here, you can play this with less than between an hour and 2 hours, because each campaign has their own little length. And of course, you don't have to do campaign. You can do your own whatever. But yeah, super, super cool. If you like dungeon crawls, you need to get look at this one, because it just looks that good. And the fact that it's getting fresh art across all the tiles and across all of the enemy cards and all the equipment cards. Oh my goodness me, this is an amazing second edition. Wow, wow, wow. Weather Machine. Oh, you're gonna be leveraging research and lab experience to address the world's extreme weather conditions in this Euro strategy game. Up the wazoo. It's Vital Lacera's next monster game, and Ian O'Toole to boot. But the theme here is fantastic. Everything makes sense, which lets the complexity soften a little bit as you're doing stuff around the board. There's lots of things you can be doing, and you're doing lots of bonuses and lots of engine building. Lots of things are popping as you go around the board, and you're constructing things, doing experiments, and just super, super heavy. Some people might think they get a little bit intimidated by these games, but I think that once the big spread's on the table, I think you can definitely hold people's hands on how to play the game, and it does look to be a little bit more accessible than the other big ones that he's done. And obviously the designer is thinking about this needs to be a bit more accessible, and I think the theme helps it a lot. But it's one heck of a meaty Euro game, and with a heavy theme. So Ian O'Toole made the board look fantastic. You've got all the components, absolutely spectacular. And this is a Euro game coming in at $129, fully pimped out. So this is like a premier line of Euro games, and with a spectacular designer from Portugal, and the artist Ian O'Toole, who's just been knocking it out of the park with fantastic Euro boards. But this one looks to be the best that they've done to date. How could you ignore this as a Euro game? Put simply, get it on your list. If you missed it, sign up for late pledge. You'll be able to get this later. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, the adventure game. Oh yeah, baby! I thought the Isofarian Guard was the unofficial Skyrim game, and I thought this one would not come anywhere close to it, but hey, this blew me away. In fact, Isofarian Guard and Skyrim, that's two games I'm getting, baby, because they both complement each other, and what this game's doing really, really tickled my fancy. There's a campaign structure in here, but you don't have to use that. You can go around, free roaming around, doing stuff, leveling up your character, and going into dungeons, getting gear, and all the stuff you'll be doing in Skyrim. Very thematic, and I just love all the different cards in the game, making it super unique, and I think the variability of the different games that you're going to be playing here really gives you that expansive adventure that you're going to want from multiple playthroughs. And it's a super, super cool game. And the Kickstarter was just blowing, it's on GameFound, but the project was blossoming into a much bigger project by the end of it. It kind of grew into this massive campaign. And you know, vampires are going to be part of the campaign as it goes forward, and there's so much to love about it. And really, when I was looking through it and all the videos, I was enamored by the people that worked on it, loved the IP, and they really did it justice in my eyes. But the deluxe tier at $300. In fact, if you go for the gameplay tier, it's $190. There's no way I would recommend going in under $100 because you need to get all the stuff, because you are going to be using all of it and all that stuff. Now, the GameFound just went above and beyond by offering painted resin heroes. Is it painted? No, they're just resin, which is basically build your own minis, because resin means spruces, doesn't it? And a crazy 8-player expansion box, which is just phenomenal. And lots and lots of cool stuff to be seen here. Just an incredible project, and one that I'm massively, massively hyped for. And another adventure game to roam around on. Don't have many of them that you can go free roaming around and just have a fun night. So this definitely tickles my fancy, because it's definitely like easy to set up and easy put away, other ones that I have. So Skyrim, just absolutely spectacular. Everdell, the complete collection. I'm not talking about you expansions, I'm talking about the complete collection. This is everything Everdell has ever done in a big, big box. Oh my goodness, this is one of the biggest Kickstarters ever. This is a game that has continuously been on Kickstarter every year for the last 5 years, and 32,000 backers. Are you kidding me? Almost $5 million. Massive project. Everdell is this cutesy, fantastic worker placement game with loads of combination cards that you can put together just to give you much satisfaction whilst playing it. And each year they've been adding expansions, and it's been growing into a bigger setup on the table. And when you've put it all together, it's just going to blow people away when they come to the table. But the simplistic things of what you can do and move your meeples around, it's just wonderful. And all these meeples that you're going to get in the game with this new edition are going to have sticker sets that you can put on, which unique stickers for every kind of meeple. Just spectacular attention to detail. The devs here love the game, and they're just blessing it with so much quality and love and care that it is just one game that any Kickstarter fan needs to have in their collection, because it's just one of these signature games that we'll always look back for and go, check this game out, Everdell. It's one shining example of a Kickstarter success story where it grew to multiple expansions and grew into this monster collection where it's now this epic work placement night of charming fun and just awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Everdell. Dear me. Cannot wait to play it. Oh, just the best game that... Was it the best game of the year? No, we're not finished yet. Let's go to the next. Primal The Awakening at number 2. What's going on at number 2? Is this not your number 1? Well, you just have to see, won't you? This monster game, the real monster hunting game, not the official one, which you'll see in my next video, hint, hint. This is a deck crafting boss battler board game featuring card-driven tactical combat and large-scale minis. Now, these monsters you're fighting are amazing. The art that you get off them makes you want to paint them. Each of the monsters has got their own individual AI and how they react. And you as players are going to evolve your characters through this massive hunt on the campaign and even switch out different gear for the enemies you're fighting. So there's going to be lots of tactical setup, and really every time you come to the table you're going to be battling. And when you do fight these monsters, you are going to be taking a bit of them and making it into the next weapon upgrade. So there is that feel that you're pulling apart this monster to upgrade your sword or your shield. Amazing. The classes themselves, though, are really, really fun. Massive, epic weapons that they use. These super oversized weapons. There is a 4th and 5th player expansion box. There's a person there with a gun, which just looks spectacular. And the monster design, the art on the monsters, the AI on the monsters, which we don't know fully, but I definitely think it's going to be world apart. And it's going to be the leading example of any boss battling board game to none. And potentially there's going to be nothing quite like it. And who knows what Primal's going to do in the future to expand this game, because I think a second season of more monsters would be unbelievably satisfying to get it out. But here it is, the hunter with the big gun. Look at the size of that gun. It must be 3 meters long, this gun. I've never seen a weapon that big before. It's so big. And you've got a woman carrying it with a massive spalder of a monster's claw on her shoulder. She looks epic. Oh, that's what this game is. It's totally epic. Oh my god. I'll tell you, the minis aren't going to stay in the box. I'll say that. They're going to be on the shelf, painted and displayed. Yes. So part of it is just the art. Sculptures. It's just dreamlike. And of course, everyone was clamoring for a terrain pack instead of putting tiles down. And they surprised everybody and they put it in on the last day of the campaign, which blew everybody away. Primal's still up for late pledge, and it's $350. It is really expensive. Oh dear. Yeah, but you know, this is why people come to Kickstarter for these monster, ambitious titles. And Primal The Awakening wanted a real monster hunting campaign game. And they nailed it, peeps. They nailed it! This would have been first of any other year if number 1 didn't exist. Because I'm massively, let's just say, biased for the number 1. Let's go to it. Fallen Lands 2nd edition! Big box with its Descendant expansion. This is my favourite game out of all my games, Fallen Land, and the 2nd edition just staggers me. Just doing so much to the base game and making it even better. The base game had like 13 years behind it, and this expansion has maybe a couple of years has been on this. Massive delay getting to Kickstarter though. But in that time, in the delay, they kept on thinking about what they could do for this Kickstarter, and it just went bananas. Now the board has got bigger, so it now includes Canada and Mexico. It is a big post-apocalyptic board game where you're adventuring around. You actually own a town, and there's loads of town boards that have been unlocked. That's determining of your location, so you could be up in the mountains in Canada, you could be down in Mexico on the border with US, and when you travel from your town, you've got a big group of people that are getting equipment, and it's fascinating how your team grows from the loot deck, the spoils deck, and every time you move on the map, you are going to be drawing an event card, and these cards are going to get you chucking dice, and all of the people in your team, all 5 of them, are going to be grouping together to match these successes. So it really, really is good, with some push-luck chucking the dice to, and some really, real cool stuff with it. You also get vehicles as well, and some vehicles can act in combat, which is fun. But the stories from the decks is so incredible, and you just get an incredible narrative feeling from the game. And when you play it with your friends, they're just going to be staggered about some of the stuff that happens in the game. It's just going to blow them away. It is richly thematic, and the town that you have, you can even improve the town to get better, improve its defenses, give you better things to your party, all sorts of cool stuff. But the second edition also is bringing these beautiful trays, which brings tear up and tear down much faster. You're getting the sleeve boxes that'll make puts all this away that much better, because this game can really push to like 3 hours. I mean, it's like an epic journey of craziness in the post-apocalyptic world. It really is Mad Max going crazy. The big box is fantastic though, because it's going to have room for future expansions too, so they're thinking about that. And the character art has recently been announced, but it's going to be completely redone. The party markers from the original game have been completely redone, and they're looking like, wow, they've really gone bananas with them. And the town mats and all this stuff. There was another thing the second edition brought, which was town events phase to the game instead of rolling a dice. But yeah, so the town event deck is going to be another deck you're going to be pulling from. But just absolutely amazing. Just look at all the different cards you're getting. Action cards, character cards, city and radiation zones, if you land on them. Mission cards, they're phenomenal to pick them up in the world. Mountain cards, a bit more difficult than playing cards. And then you've got the massive spoil deck, which is huge. And it's going to be very, 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 very difficult to play a game and have an event that you've seen before. And I really discourage anyone who's playing this game to shuffle the deck until you've gone through the deck. It might take many playthroughs to do that. And, oh, peeps, this is the best solo game ever. My wife goes on a business trip, this game comes out, and this Kickstarter's giving more solo variants. What's going on? There's even a co-op mode put in here. This is amazing. So, taking my favourite game, making it better, bigger, more beautiful, and like, are you kidding me? And in the Pledge Manager, you can totally get a t-shirt. And so if you're coming in here and you want to get the All-In has a neoprene map, which is 40% bigger than the original map. 40%, it's huge. It's amazing. I'm sick of Kickstarters doing neoprene maps the same size as the board. If you go in neoprene, go bigger. So yeah, mega exciting stuff going on here. And yes, it can be a little bit random, but that's where the chaos comes from. And I'll happily take my shirt on the add-on. Amazing stuff. And just when you have these adventure games, the big death nail in them is the fact that there's going to be no more content coming from them, and you've got the finished game in your box. And good to know from the designer. I spoke to him myself on the channel, and we did an interview, and yeah, there is potentially 2 more expansions coming. They might not be very, very big expansions, but there is stuff coming which is very exciting, including, I think one of them is caravans moving across the map, so there's NPCs moving around, which is that beautiful trending thing on Kickstarter, is having an AI player doing stuff on the map just to make the map more, more is going on around there. That's super, super cool, and certainly in the solo game, if you've got that happening, it'll be even better. So Fallen Land 2nd Edition, big box, and the expansion as well. This was the best game on Kickstarter this year for over $100. Just one massive, beautiful box of post-apocalyptic goodness. And I'll tell you, the original game was like £13 weight. And I don't know what this expansion's going to do, especially if the Descendants box is fitting in it. And, oh my god, peeps! This is why it's my number one. It's just doing so much stuff. The original box was so tight. So tight. Oh man, you could have put some food in the box and opened it in 50 years and it would still be okay to eat it, because there was no room for any air in the box. So you couldn't sleeve your cards. You couldn't sleeve any of them. And now you can get the add-on for an empty box here, so you can basically sleeve up your cards. So absolutely phenomenal. And that's the attention to the fan base that they're doing this. And when you see the Kickstarters appealing to what their fans want, it's 100 million miles away from the corporate structure at CMON. And that's why Kickstarter is so exciting, is that you can get these dream projects and you can get a level of ambition that you just don't see anywhere else. And this is my shining example for 2021, the best game on Kickstarter for the year. Well, peeps, please let me know in the comments what your top games are of the year. Please put them in the category of over $100, and we'll see if the games that I did not mention here will make it into my worst list coming out later in December. Yeah, that one's going to be, let's say, downvoted more than upvoted, but now YouTube's not showing you how many downvotes. That'll be my secret, won't it? But, yeah, the comments section's probably going to go nuts on that video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Remember, this is just video 2 of 3, and we will be back for that worst games of Kickstarter this year. So I hope you're doing well. I hope your Christmas time is a fantastic one this year, and wish you the best for 2022. You've been listening to Kickstarter Radio. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much for listening. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You stay safe, everybody. Take care, and bye-bye from me. And Merry Christmas.